Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Talk, Marriage and Family. Today we're going to speak about a very sensitive topic, and we'll become a little bit vulnerable today, but I think we are at a mature state where we can talk about our past hurts and past grievances. And so come and join us as we talk about conflict.
And the avoidance of the conflict.
The avoidance of the conflict. Peace keeping is not peacemaking. Yes. And so that's what we want to talk about. So come and join and let's learn together.
So today we said we want to talk about avoidance of conflict. And maybe we should talk about what our style was when it came to dealing with conflict. Right? So when we got married, for me initially I was really trying to keep the peace. I've been a peacekeeper all of my life. Being the middle child at home, not wanting to ruffle any feathers. So that's been my style. And I think when we came into this marriage union, I still didn't know how to address difficult conversations and difficult things. And you didn't know how to deal with me.
No. I don't think I knew how to deal with conflict myself. And like in previous episodes, we would have said the way we were brought up is never to, we weren't given a voice, couldn't really voice our opinion. And so coming into marriage and dealing with someone who's quieter than what I am was a challenge. But we want to specifically speak about decisions that created conflict, ongoing decisions that created conflict. And so we want to take our viewers on a journey. We said in our interview that the spender in this case is me, and the saver is on this side of the fence. And so that spending and that behavior caused a lot of conflict on our journey, and that's what we want to talk about. And we want to talk about specifically the purchases of vehicles. Take you on a journey with us.
Yeah, so how it all started, let's go back to the very, very beginning of the car purchase journey. So I was newly employed at one of my first jobs, and we knew we were in this together. We knew we were going to be starting a life together, and we decided we wanted to purchase a car together. And I went on a whole treasure hunt of looking for the ideal car, and I think you were doing the same.
Yep.
I found a car that I really, really wanted. At that time it was a red Toyota Conquest or Taz. Was it Taz? I can't remember. I think it was a Taz. Yeah, so I wanted the Taz and you wanted something else.
Yeah, it was still a Toyota, but it was Toyota Corolla. And I was influenced by friends. Recommendations that it's a good car, solid car. And so being hard-headed, I decided that that's the car we would go with and not the Taz. This car was bought cash, and the Taz we would have paid on terms, right?
Yeah.
The
It was
Taz
a newer car.
was a newer car, and the car we eventually bought was an older car. But that's already where it became evident that we are not aligned. And at this stage, we were not even married yet.
Yeah.
So the red flags were there.
And we ignored them. And I think for me, I was disappointed that I couldn't get the car that I wanted, and this being a first car purchase for me. Even though we were doing it together, I think there was a bit of me that wanted this car. And when the decision was made that we're going with a different option, instead of confronting it with sharing my feelings, I quietly bowed out and allowed the decision to be made.
Yeah, but what did that do emotionally?
It caused me to withdraw.
Mm-hmm.
It caused me to silently resent this
Yep.
decision because I wasn't given a voice
Yep.
in the final decision. It was like, I've made a decision, we're going with this car. And yeah, I didn't like the car before I even saw it.
What made it worse is when the car started giving problems.
Yeah.
It was a decision that I had to relive all the time.
Yeah,
The decision was the wrong one.
because I was duck pick every time that car gave an issue.
Yes. And you can't even apologize because what are you apologizing for? And so that's how our journey started. It was the first car we bought. Still took care of it, kept it clean, tried to maintain it whenever we could. Gave us so many hassles. I don't know how many times that car's bonnet flipped on the freeway. Gave us a lot of problems. And eventually we sold it for yet another car.
If you stick around, you're going to count how many cars we've had on this journey. So stick around. And every time there was a new car purchase decision made, it came with its own set of tensions and conflicts.
Yeah.
So then the second car came.
Yeah, the second car came. It was a Toyota twin cam, and of course this now comes with additional features. It's a faster car, more of a sports model. So yeah, and that also didn't last. It served us well though. I liked that car a lot. I actually liked that car a lot. It was very economical. Toyota twin cam. Can't even remember. Corolla twin cam. Yeah, it served us very well. But eventually it started giving problems as well. And you know, problems comes with tension. Problems comes with having to explain why we need to take out money to fix it.
And these are unbudgeted expenses at this time.
Unbudgeted expenses.
And at this time we were married. So you can imagine, as a newly married couple, you don't need unplanned expenses. We weren't the best at budgeting, okay? I was not a spender, but I think I was very cautious about when we needed to spend money. Not like I was like budgeting every month. No, not to that extreme. But I was very cautious about what we spent our money on. So whenever there was an incident or a situation where we needed to spend money on a car, it's money that we didn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these cars had to take us to work and back.
Yeah.
We had run lift clubs, and when the car breaks down, then of course your income is gone. You're now limited to getting into a bus to get to work.
Yeah.
So very inconvenient. I think after the Corolla, we went for, what was it, Renault Clio.
I remember the Renault Clio.
I think that was the first car that we bought on hire purchase.
Yes.
I think it was one of the first detrimental decisions that we made financially.
Because what the purchase of this Renault Clio, as small and cute as it was, we couldn't maintain having a bond and paying for a car, a monthly installment on a car. Okay, so what we're trying to share is poor financial decisions, unplanned financial decisions. If you are not consistent or you are not deliberate in how you make financial decisions in your marriage, it has a ripple effect, and then you have to make bigger decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is one of those times where, after purchasing this car and now needing to pay a monthly installment for a new vehicle, we couldn't maintain a bond and a new car.
Yeah. So that led to having to now make big decisions. And our decision, and I think a lot of times when luckily the house is within the family still, but whenever we go to that house, I'm reminded of that decision to sell. that at that point it would have logically made sense to let go of the car and not the house.
But what was the thing about the car? Holding on to the car?
I've
for
got
you?
no idea. I think there was a lot of contributing factors. And in addition to that, we also were thinking of moving out of Eldos. Because at that time we were still living in Eldos, but we wanted to, I don't know, there were so many things that happened, so many contributing factors.
Okay. So it made sense to sell the house.
Sell the house with the intention of buying another house outside of Eldos. I think that was the motivation. So initially we rented in Klosprecht and then we bought our house in Turffontein. Oh, one of the worst decisions ever in our lives. Go and live in Turffontein. I don't want to talk bad about Turffontein, but no. It was not for us.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But we had the car that we wanted.
Yep,
Now we had a new bond.
a new bond, yes.
And then a new car decision came.
We had a new bond, and then there's an upgrade decision that came. Now we went from a Renault Clio, and you know what? In hindsight, if we stuck with the Clio, we would have been able to manage. But no, we had to go buy a Renault Megane.
Why?
Family car.
Family car. Okay.
Family has now grown. There's
2
4 of
daughters.
us.
Yes.
And so the Clio is small. Family car makes sense, right? Let's just say all the decisions for the cars that we're speaking about, there was always some logic behind it.
In your mind.
In my mind. let's be clear on that. In my mind, there was logic. But having purchased that house, I think we were fine for about a year or so until inflation and increases came in, interest rate hikes. Within a short space of time, probably 6 or so months, our expenses had phenomenally increased.
Yeah.
So the bond was more expensive. The car was more expensive.
Insurance was expensive.
Insurance was more expensive. I think at this point in time, we had extended or made some extensions at the back to put the cottage to earn extra income to help with this. But it's one thing getting tenants, it's another thing getting the tenants to pay. And so, yeah, so that whole drama there led to another big decision.
And that was to sell our second home.
Yep. And at this point, financially, we were in a very bad state.
Yeah.
Bad state. We had seen financial advisors in the bank who had given us advice, and their advice was never to default.
Yeah.
Because then you have a bad credit record. And so...
And I was all about the good credit record.
Yeah.
If you must know that I've never had any purchase of anything on credit except a bond and a car. No clothing accounts, nothing else, right? So I was all about having a good credit record. And in order for us not to default or owe the bank anything, the best decision for us at the time was again to sell the house.
And it's the only the logical explanation behind it was it's the one thing that you can sell with a profit. Selling the car, you might not get what you need to settle the car, but selling that house was very painful because we sold it at a loss. Everything that we invested in there, we lost. And we had to actually pay attorney's fees and stuff to get that sale to go through. It was a very, very, very painful decision to make, and one of the ones I regret the most. So we sold that house, and then we went to live with our parents. So we had to put our pride in our pockets. Because how we started our journey is different from my siblings, because they they would have lived with our parents first and then became independent. We went straight into our own house when we got married. So very proud that we're doing well, we're doing better than everybody else. And now,
back home with the
going
parents.
home, right?
With 2 children.
With 2 children. So you now narrowing it down to 1 room when you had a full house. Not that we didn't have access to the house, it's just, it was tough.
Yeah.
But that period was necessary for us to come to our senses financially.
Yes.
Did it stop the purchases? Nah.
But it did help us gain some clarity on what was important.
Yeah.
I still believe that being together was important, and working on our issues was important, right? We were not going to get into another purchasing of another home until we were ready.
Yeah.
That's what one thing we agreed on. We're not just going to buy another home if we're not able to maintain the repayments.
Yeah.
And it was difficult, and you had to put your pride in your pocket, like Steven said. We had to eat some humble pie for a while in order for us to grow and become a little bit more responsible financially.
Yeah. But in all of this, you can now imagine with these big decisions that had to be made, the tension was just building and building. So although we were together, we were not together emotionally, spiritually, because there was just a lot of tension and a lot of silence.
Yeah.
A lot of quiet time.
And a lot of resentment.
Yep.
Stephen identified in one of our first episodes that through our marriage he realized that he was selfish. And I recognized that he was selfish, but I never verbalized it. I never said to him, "You're such a selfish person." I never said to him, "You make these decisions because you just think about yourself."
Yeah.
And I don't know if I had said those words, if it would have destroyed our marriage or would have given me an outlet at the time. For me, saying it it seemed like it was going to be the worst thing. It was going to end my marriage, and I avoided it at all cost. But that's how I felt. That's how I felt inside. Like, this man is making such selfish decisions, and it is causing us embarrassment. It is causing us hurt, and now we have to be living with our parents.
And I mean, the worst thing that you can do at that point is to point out that we're in this position because of you. So already you are ashamed and you regret certain decisions or decisions that you've made, and having your family placing your family in that position, having to hear those words would have been detrimental, right? And I thank God that you never said it. You thought it.
I never said it.
Never said it. But they say action speaks louder than words.
Yes.
I felt it.
I'm sure you would have felt it, because one thing about me, when I'm internalizing some emotions and I don't know how to express it, I keep quiet and I withdraw, and to come out of that is very difficult. So yes, you would have definitely felt that I'm not happy or I'm not okay.
So for some time we stayed with our parents, my parents first and your parents, and then eventually we were in a position to rent your parents' place, and we were renting for a while, and we didn't realize how liberated our children would feel living or having their own space. For when we moved into that rental, the children were so excited to have a yard and a space to play, a place to call their own.
Yeah.
And so that was motivation enough to stay consistent and to make proper decisions that's not going to impact them again.
True. And we didn't want to unsettle them again.
And at the time that we moved, they were very, very young.
Yeah.
But by the time we moved into the rental, they
They were old enough to
Old enough
appreciate
to
that we're in our
appreciate.
own house.
Yeah.
Yes, we were in our own houses when they were much smaller, but I don't think it resonated until we were no longer living with the grandparents. We're living on our own, by ourselves, just
We've
the
grown
four of
up
us.
now.
Yeah, that's the time that they recognized having some form of home.
Yeah, and we make decisions. I don't know, like I said before, there's always a motivation or a motive behind any decision, or some level of reasoning why a decision is made. But every single decision, and when you look all the way back from to the beginning, we could have been in a position now where we had a fully paid up
House.
home.
24 years later.
24 years later, we're still paying a bond
Yeah,
and 2 cars.
yeah.
But let's take you further on our journey. So now at this point in time, we're living in a rental, and we're driving the Renault Megane.
I can't
Oh
remember.
no! Before we even wait, when did we buy the Avensis?
I don't know. And I know there was a Sentra. That Sentra was...
Oh, that Sentra was the
Heartbreaking.
devil. That was in the beginning, way in the beginning.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. Let's leave that one. That one, it's one of those things that you just want to put in the archives and never ever bring up again. Burn it.
Yeah, we had a Nissan Sentra.
Yo, that car would overheat and the engine would seize. I don't know how many times we
Were left stranded.
were left stranded. No, I don't want to talk about that car. At some point, and I don't know when it was, we changed from the Renault Megane to the Toyota Avensis. Right? It was a grandfather car. Because when you used to drive the car, you used to look at old men driving it, and you're like, why am I in this car? That car we kept the longest, and we actually paid up.
Yeah.
That was the one car. That's the one car that we also miss.
The most, true.
I was actually surprised the other day when she told me that she misses the car. Very, very luxury car. But it started giving us problems.
It started costing
And
us.
this is when the decision making sort of changed. Because by the time we let go of the Avensis, what happened?
So because of the issues with the car and having to spend so much money in repairing and maintaining the car, I think one of the biggest repair jobs on the engine was about 10,000 rand. So we already not spending a lot of money on cars anymore. We already trying to be a little bit more considerate with our decision makings in terms of finances. So this car was starting to cost us more than it was delivering value to us. And as a result, we decided that we're going to, purchase a new car. And Stephen took on the responsibility of finding this new car. So, over the course of the years, I had expressed my desire and my love for an Audi, right? So I've always admired an Audi and I wanted one. Not that it was gonna happen. I never expected that it would ever happen before I was 40. But I wanted an Audi. I loved an Audi. So Stephen went on the journey of looking for a new car for us, and that's when he decided to buy me a Audi
Red Audi A3.
A3.
She still misses it even today.
Yeah, 2-door. But it is perfect for our little family.
Yeah. At this point in time, I think we had transitioned and we were able to buy a second car and getting ready to buy the house that we're in now.
Yeah.
So we had the Audi and we had a Toyota Corolla, another Toyota Corolla after the Avensis. So now it's 2 cars. You've got the Audi and then you've got the Toyota Corolla. And I think that served us well. That car never gave us any problems. I was just last in all honesty. Because when we were now getting comfortable, I had the desire to have a bakkie. I've got children. We started camping at this point, so I wanted to have a bakkie. And so, what's the next best thing to do? We
Or
go
buy a bakkie.
buy a Corsa. Look, the children loved it.
Their mother, not so much.
Their mother didn't like it so much, but she had her car. But I can clearly remember, because we're talking about conflict, right? There was a lot of tension. And I can clearly remember arranging a camp and going on camp with this bakkie, and everyone is in the bakkie. And because of the tension, you chose, I'm not going, I'm staying at home. You can go and have fun. So distance grew more and more. And those are the type of things that destroys families. And we're forever grateful that we didn't give up and that God has kept us together. We're forever grateful for that. But that was another purchase, which added more tension. It's more expenses. And for those who's financially savvy, you'd understand that every time you trade in a car and you purchase another car, the debt increases. Because the car that you're trading in 10 to 1 has a shortfall. And then that shortfall is added to the new finance. So which means every time a new car comes, it increases the debt, it increases the financial pressure on the family.
And I think at some point it felt like we were spending more on cars than we were on the home. The repayment on the home was a certain amount, but then the car's repayment seemed to exceed the repayment on the home. It just didn't make any financial sense. And it was like, and we're supposed to pay off this car in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
But our home, we have 20 years to pay it off. It just didn't make financial sense to me to constantly be spending so much on vehicles, right? But again, like I said, I was avoiding conflict. I was avoiding talking about this, and I wanted this man to be at peace with having the car that he wanted, because now I have my car, right? So who am I to say, no, you can't drive the car that you want when I'm driving my Audi?
Yeah. I mean, the bakkie served us. When we purchased this property, we could move with it. Moved all our stuff with the bakkie. We had to go to, I don't know, is it 4 ways to buy tiles and stuff. So it served its purpose. I let go of the bakkie because it became a problem in the sense that people wanted to borrow it. And I don't know how to say no.
Yeah, and damage was caused to
Damage
the
is caused to the
bakkie,
bakkie.
and nobody is going to say anything about helping you repair it except sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, so there was more tension that was brewing because of borrowing a bakkie.
So it's now
and having to
added
repair.
tension. Now
Yes.
added tension because I don't like the bakkie. Now the bakkie is damaged and now you have to pay to fix it. Yeah, so the tension just grew. And so eventually the next decision came to let go of the bakkie and to get the Toyota Auris.
You laugh.
I laugh because she didn't like it. There are drop suspension, sports car, fast car. But when you go over a speed hump, you have to go sideways. One of those purchases that she didn't like.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely didn't like.
yeah, but it had additional expenses. Servicing it was just too much, which led to another purchase. I don't know if you've kept count.
Are you keeping count, guys?
Because I
Have
don't
you
know.
counted how many
I don't know
cars
how
now?
many. And we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So realistically, because the Auris was so costly, I traded it for a Toyota Corolla. It's just now a stand. It's not a drop suspension. It's a family car. We're good, and we enjoyed the car for a good couple of years.
And in the meantime, my red little Audi that was serving me so well, that I was paying diligently, I was probably in my last year of paying it off when I started having issues. The car was now out of the maintenance plan, out of warranty, whatever it is. And now the car started getting issues. And again, the expenses in having to repair the car out of our pocket became more. Okay? And taking it back to the dealers every time there was an issue, one of the reps or consultants there suggested, maybe it's time that you trade this car in. Another grudge purchase on my part to let go of this car, start again, new debt, new car. What do I go for now? And because it was Audi to Audi, maybe it seemed, like, okay, it makes sense. Let's just take a new Audi. And that's what I did.
Yep.
But yeah, never happy with that car. Never was.
It was not the red one.
It was not a red one, and I just felt a financial burden with it.
And a physical
burden because I was not comfortable in that car. I just didn't drive well. My legs started paining, but that's a story for another day. Again, I say we made the decision to go with a new car.
Yeah.
I wish we had some counseling about these car purchases.
Because the thing is, they say to you, once the car is out of motor plan, because when you purchase a car, it's either in warranty or it's got a maintenance plan. So any breakages is covered for, is catered for.
Yeah.
So that's covered, right? Now with the Audi, the red Audi, it was a huge engine problem. So they literally overhauled the engine. Because there was a oil leak that was just not going away and they couldn't find a problem. So they redid the entire engine. And that cost is what was shared with us to say that if you were not, and we were like
on the verge of losing,
on the verge of
cover.
of going out of cover, they said this would have come out of your pocket. So it made sense logically. So when you buy a car, you need to be able to maintain the car. You need to be in a position that you can, at any given time, if you hit a puncture, replace the tire. If you're in an accident, pay for the excess because you have insurance. You need to be able to do that. And a lot of times we purchase these things because we're able to afford the payment or the repayment. And how we afford it is by this thing that's not from the devil, what they call residual. A balloon payment.
Balloon payment too, guys. Avoid that thing.
If you can avoid it, do that. But that's what we did over the years. And like I said, every time a new purchase comes, there's debt added to the purchase that you're making now. And so for her, it became another Audi. And for me, that Corolla I was enjoying also started giving massive issues. It was for weeks on end at Toyota until I decided at the same dealership, hey guys, I'm struggling with this car of mine. They were prepared to go check it out at Toyota while it was under repairs. Traded it in, and that's when I got my first Audi. And so now we're at the place where the both of us are driving Audis. I'm enjoying mine, she's not enjoying hers. But we're in more debt.
Yeah.
Financial decisions.
Huge conflict builder. Huge reason for conflict to build in your marriage is when you have poor financial decisions. We learned the hard way. We're still learning because you must remember that those decisions don't just go away. They follow you.
They do.
They follow you, and you have to become mature in how you manage your finance. I am more financially savvy now. I think the both of us are. But our decisions from the past, we still pay for.
Yeah.
Right? You're not exempt from the decisions that you've made now. You have to live with it. It's part of your history. It's part of your story.
Yeah.
And you grow from there.
Yeah. So when I traded the Toyota, I took an Audi A3. I settled for Audi A3.
Oh, yes.
Because I really wanted the Audi A4. Took it for a test drive and everything, but I couldn't afford it. And I think you were shocked when I said to you, I'm not taking the car because I can't afford it.
Yeah, because remember, this is a man that was set on buying the car that he wants. Every time he had his heart set on a car, it's gonna come and drive up with him, whether you're ready for it or not. So when he said you didn't take the A4, I was super shocked.
Yeah, I was growing up, but my heart, every time I see an Audi A4 on the road, I was like, no, 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 no. I need my retirement car. And so our final purchases came in 2021.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now the decision was different to let go of the Audi. It was twofold.
My Audi.
Yeah, one, it was uncomfortable. And two, you wanted to now cater for
Second.
another driver in the house who's short, and the SUV or mini SUV would cater for her. And she actively drives with the mother, that particular car. She can't drive the Audi. It's low, it's big. She can drive it, but yeah, no, I think the owner is a bit iffy about that. Don't tell her.
Yeah.
But in 2021, after we changed from a Audi to a Ford EcoSport, and a few months later, I bought the A4. Love the car. Hate the decision. Because it's costing me a lot of money. And whenever I think of it, I'm like, could have just stuck with what you had. To serving you, right? There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I'm comfortable with what I have. To the point where I don't even want to buy a car no more. But now, again, I'm in the same state as what I was all along. If this car's about to go out of motor plan, how am I going to maintain this car? And I'm like, I do not want to let go of this car. I don't know how I'm going to maintain it, but that's the place where I'm at. But it took us years, it took me years to get here. At some point, our daughter went to university. I was prepared to sell the car because we had to pay university fees, because I felt like this repayment can pay that. That's the impact of financial decisions. Because we think of the now. We don't think of how is it going to impact my future? How does this set me up for success, financial success in the future? I think of now and the comfort now and how I will enjoy the drive now. I enjoy the ride, but I don't like it when it goes off my account. But I can't reverse it. And so we're sharing this because maybe you listening and it can help you not make that decision. It's not worth it, because these cars are nice to have. That's all they are.
Yeah, they really are liabilities. And something that I'm learning as I mature and understand finances better is that we need to invest in assets and income generating assets. Cars are, like Stephen said, nice to haves. They're liabilities. They take more from you. And when you look 24 years down the line, with all the money that we've invested in cars, how much assets we could have acquired, you know? So it's difficult to sit here and say, oh man, if only, right? But we have to learn and we have to educate others to avoid the mistakes that we've made. And that's as much as we can do now. Our story is not over. Our journey in managing our finances is not over, but it's something that other people can avoid.
Yeah, because we still have debt that we need to take care of. We thank God that funding was provided for our daughter in Cape Town, for her to finish university, because that was a big burden as a result of our financial decisions. We are learning. It's a process. It's a journey. We're still going through it. We still need to overcome our financial challenges. But I can tell you one thing for certain, making decisions now won't be as easy as it was 4 years ago. because now you think twice. I should be more comfortable not living from hand to mouth. Because you move jobs, you get better salaries, your salary increases. You should be better off, and we're not. And the perception from the outside is when they see you in this nice car, is that you're doing well.
Yeah.
I don't know about other people, but we're driving in debt.
And that's not a state of wellness.
Yeah.
It's a state of debt.
Yeah. So what's the challenge?
What is the challenge? The challenge is really, firstly, for women like me, or for men like me, who do not like uncomfortable conversations. Your voice matters.
Yeah.
Your partner needs to consult with you, and the two of you need to be in agreement in the decisions that are taken. Do not silence what you feel and what you think because you want to avoid a fight, or you think it's going to break up your marriage if you speak your truth. You are allowed to speak your truth, and we have to do so with grace and understanding with each other. So my challenge to you is speak your truth in love. We're not out to belittle each other. We're not out to cause conflict unnecessarily. But when there's tension because you don't agree with the decision, rather address it in love and talk through it instead of living with resentment and regret.
Yeah. And except to agree, they can't walk together. So find common ground. Come to an agreement. Maybe come to a compromise, but meet each other halfway. Come to an agreement and make the decision. 2 is better than 1.
So we want to wrap up this episode with that challenge to you. We hope that it has enlightened you a bit about our journey. And yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly, this is what we talk about. This is real talk. This is changing our mindsets.
Yeah. People might ask, but how was the experience really? Look, we are not confrontational. So we can't say it became bad and we had heated arguments and you were quiet, still staper. But it wasn't good. It wasn't enjoyable. It was you walking on eggshells. And so that's the reality of what we faced for 20 years maybe, where it was just not comfortable. And decisions are still made, but it just makes it worse and worse. Don't have to go through that. Meet each other at the central place. Make decisions for the good of your family, for the good of your marriage. How is this enriching our marriage? How is this securing our future?
So next week, when you join in, we want to talk about the results of this kind of conflict in your marriage. These are financial decisions that have caused conflict and tension, but we want to talk about the results of that. So come back next week, and thank you for joining us in this week's episode of the Mindset Talk, Marriage and Family with Phoebe and Stephen.
Ciao.